He's in the kitchen. He's fine. Now we're gonna check my mail on Final Fantasy 14 because we got mail.
Is he walking yet, or is that?
Oh yeah, he's walking. He's walking all over the place.
Gonna come get me? I'm running right past you.
So we got some things here. Let's see, good for a single journey through Ethernet network of yours. Guardian of lights. Nope, he's up walking. If you can hear any stopping, that's him running around the house with my wife.
Okay. Alright. I have to watch him more closely.
Oh yeah. He's up walking and he's terrorizing everything and... Oh yeah, he's getting into everything.
Uh-huh.
He's everywhere.
Yeah, I bet. Man, I'm tired. I've been working a lot of overtime lately.
So how's work going for you?
Yeah, it's alright. I don't like the place, but whatever.
Work is work.
It's a weld shop, but like I've been welding for the last like 5 years, and this is a shop where I don't know how to do TIG welding. Like I do know a little bit, but just not that comfortable with it. And so I applied for a finishing job, so I'm like a grinder doing finishing work.
I would like to learn more about TIG, because you can do a lot with TIG.
You can do a lot with any welding. But yeah, you could TIG welding is usually a lot more money though.
Well, TIG, they want you to be able to do aluminum and stainless and stuff like that.
Same with hardwired. They want you to know how to do stainless and aluminum and mild steel.
Not around here. Around here, they want you just to use TIG, not hardwire. They don't want you to use wire.
Depends on what shop you're at.
So that's around here though. That's let's see here. Let's exit that duty. Yeah, because right now we're doing.
Well, I received a call. Well, like I'm working through a temping agency, like a staffing agency. So I'm a temp right now. Yeah, so I'm hopefully going to get hired on eventually, but.
Yeah.
I just received a call for insurance, and they're like, yeah, you qualify for insurance now if you want to pay $10 and something cents every week. I was like, okay, I'll do that.
Oh God, that's super cheap insurance. I wish my wife could pay that much insurance. Jesus.
Yeah, it's like $40 a month. That's not even that bad. That's actually a lot cheaper than like going through like
work,
like going through your own insurance.
No shit. That's almost like my insurance, free.
Last year I only had 5 months of insurance, so I got on my tax returns. I got like penalized. I was up to $2,400, and for not having it for 7 months, it was dropped down to $1,700. It's like, you got to be fucking shitting me. Lost $700 for not having insurance for that long.
That's I think that's wrong, though. I think that part is wrong. I think...
Here's the stupid thing. You have to have health insurance, right?
Right.
But every month, you have to pay a penalty. But the only time you can sign up for health insurance is the beginning of the year. So that's a way of the government stealing money from you. Because you can't apply for insurance. like in midway.
See, that's wrong. See, that's another reason it's wrong. So you shouldn't get penalized for not being able to get health insurance. See, another thing is if you can't afford health insurance, why penalize that person? Make it affordable.
Right? Yeah,
Either
exactly.
make it affordable or pay for health insurance through our taxes and make universal health care. That's what other foreign governments do.
Right?
That's what the taxes are for.
Yeah. Not here in the States.
Not here. We're supposed to be the land of the free, and we're supposed to be the best country in the world, but we can't give everybody health care.
Yep.
We can't
The
also...
thing with Obamacare was supposed to be free, right? When they first mentioned it, was supposed to be free for
Yeah.
everyone. Now what did they do? Oh, you have to pay for it now.
You have to pay
here's the
for
thing,
it.
The minimum wage workers, are they going to pay bills or are they going to pay health insurance? I'm pretty sure they're going to pay bills.
They're going to pay bills? Well, here's another thing. You're either going to pay your bills or you're going to put food on your table to feed your kids. You're going to feed your fucking kids.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep. So that whole thing seems like a scam to me. Almost seems like extortion in a way.
It is. And see, that's another thing. Because that's why other foreign countries are becoming better than the United States. And another thing is, and that's why, like, not to get on the political side, like, why can't we make our colleges free either? It's like, if you don't want to go to college, don't fucking go. That's your God-given right.
Mm-hmm.
But if you want to go to...
Here in Oregon, they actually made a couple community colleges free this year.
Right. So if you want to go to college and you want to learn, like, a trade or anything like that, if you want to go to business school or anything, that should be your right. That should be a right. You know, you want to go to higher learning. Good. That should be free. That should be taken out of your taxes. Just like public schools.
But we all know taxes goes towards war and everyone in the government.
Well, I'm not saying that it shouldn't go towards defending our country, because you know I was in the military. But that's
that's fine. I'm glad it goes to war. I mean, we need to defend our country. We need the money and all that stuff for that kind of stuff. I have no problems with that, but that's why we're getting taxed, though. I mean, that and to keep the government rich.
But another thing I don't agree with is that it's going towards our senators and stuff, and their salaries, when their salaries are close to $1 million a year. You don't need that much to live off of. You don't need close to $1 million salary to live off of.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm just running around in Final Fantasy 14. See, and get this. So I've been on this for probably about 10 minutes now. Haven't been kicked off yet. And I've seen more people on Final Fantasy 14 than I have on Destiny. And my streaming hasn't been kicked off once.
Yeah.
I don't even know what my currency is.
I'm on like a 14-game hit streak right now, and I'm 0 for 3 right now.
There's ice cream in the freezer.
0 for 4?
My Blizzard. Yeah.
Come here, Stinky. Hey, Stinky.
So, just in case you didn't know this, Nate, but my wife's helped me out on a few of these podcasts.
Ronan. Hey.
Really?
Yep. We figured out how to get 2 profiles on the same PlayStation to work. Which, no matter how many times... Ronan! Ronan.
She wiped my nose.
No. So, anyway, So all you have to do is sign in on both controllers, and then it's really stupid easy. Invite the other profile, have them on a friends list, and then invite the other person into a party chat. How stupid easy is that?
Yeah. Well, you know how Shaw was like, man, I need to buy another PSN so my wife can play too, and I was like, pretty sure I've made another account, and I was able to play online with that account. All you have to do is make another account. He's like, no, you have to buy another one. I was like, no, I'm pretty sure you can just make another one.
Well, it all depends on what games you're playing too. Like if like Destiny, you have to have 2 PlayStations to play together.
Well, no, that yeah, I'm talking about just like split screening for Diablo. You can just make 2 accounts.
Yeah, I think Diablo is. My wife is being okay. Diablo, I think, is split screen. You can do split screen. Borderlands, the Handsome Jack, you can do 4 screen split screen.
Oh wow.
I'm pretty sure you can. You can actually do 2 people on split screen and then do it on also 2 people split screen and then do online too. So let's say if my wife and I wanted to play Borderlands and then you wanted to play Borderlands with us, all 3 of us could play.
Oh wow.
Like super badasses. We could do that.
That's cool.
So, I just want to mention this. I haven't played this game in like 3 weeks. And I have like a beer in me. Slightly buzzed because it's a pretty high alcohol content beer. And everything's super bright colored. And I'm not really sure what's going on right now with the game.
That's right, you're a light drinker.
Dude, I haven't drank in a while. Like, it's been a couple months.
Yeah, I haven't drank in a while either, but I don't think I'll still get buzzed off 1 beer.
I've been taking my pain meds pretty religiously lately too, so.
More than religiously, or get high off them?
I have been taking them every day like I'm supposed to be, so.
Are you taking the recommended amount, or like a few more?
I've been taking the recommended amount, so I have actually been taking my meds. So, yeah.
It's like 2 more. What's the recommended amount? 2 every 4 to 6 hours?
2 every day. Where, when I was drinking with Shaw and you guys before, I wasn't taking them at all. So, if that tells you anything.
What is it, Vicodin?
No, it completely disrupts it. It's a nerve blocker.
Oh, okay.
I'm running like a bitch. Keep running. Well, I almost lived. I kind of want to leave these guys alone to die because they all suck. Seriously, guys, everyone died because our tank. See, this is what I have a problem with warrior tanks in this game. So your bad warrior tanks have a thing called TP. Okay, they will drain it. They should never drain their TP. It's okay. So you've played Diablo. You know what MP is, so that's your magic.
Yeah.
TP is like what everybody else has.
Yeah.
If you're like a warrior, ninja, everybody else. So pretty much, if you don't do magic, you have to use TP to do any of your other moves, except for ninja, because you have ninjutsus, which, guess what? They magically don't have to use TP. Just because you're a ninja. But they are the lowest DPS.
Yeah.
But they do debuffs and stuff like that.
Well, that's why they're good for tanking, if they know how to play right.
Well, ninjas are DPS.
Okay.
But that's why they do debuffs and buffs.
Okay.
So that's why they kind of do, if you ever played DC Universe, they're kind of like a troll.
Okay.
Because trolls would put out power. If you did you ever play DC Universe?
Like a game or two for like a little bit.
So in DC Universe you had DPS, tanks, healers, and trolls. It's actually called a controller, but we call them trolls for short.
Okay.
Your controllers, what they would do is they would restore everybody else's power. And your power is what gave all your DC superheroes their ability to use their special abilities like fire, nature, your superpowers, pretty much. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So your troller, in essence, gave everybody else their superpowers.
Okay.
So, in Final Fantasy XIV, a ninja kind of does that same thing that they do, where there was two types of trolls. One would give out power, another one would debuff and buff bosses. Like obviously a debuff wouldn't give everybody else powers. A debuff would make your boss weaker.
Yeah.
Where a ninja has the ability to buff himself up, make himself stronger. And then he would also have the ability to make enemies weaker.
Okay.
So they're useful in that sense, like, oh, I'm gonna debuff bosses constantly. So like when you get in super, boss fights, you kind of want a ninja in there. But when you get a big group battles, it kind of sucks having a ninja. They don't have that AoE effects. They do have 2 AoEs, but they're just not that good. Unlike in Diablo, where everybody has those AoEs.
Yeah.
I
haven't played Diablo in so long. I'm so tired.
Like today, your only day off?
My day off? No, I worked today. I worked from 6 a.m. to 4:30 p.m.
Oof.
10-hour day. I've been working 10-hour days. It's 10-hour days Monday through Thursday, and then 9 hours on Friday, and then I've been volunteering on Saturdays for 8 hours.
Whew.
I've been doing that for the past 4 weeks. So yeah, I'm kind of beat, but need to get hired on, and hopefully they'll let me start practicing how to TIG weld better. I feel like all these people that are coming in to like take a test to, get hired on, like the past 10 people have failed the test, and I feel like I could pass the test. I really do. That's how confident I am with my TIG welding skills right now. I wish they would just give me a test and let me start TIG welding.
That's unfortunate that they haven't let you take that test, though.
Yeah, like as of right now, I can't even practice on my brakes. I was like, you gotta be joking, right? You won't let me practice on my brakes? Why? It's my own time. They're like, well, you just don't need you to practice right now. They didn't give me like a good solid reason, so.
Someone there doesn't like you.
If they're trying to keep me as a finisher forever, I am gonna let them know. I'm gonna be like, look, I volunteer for overtime. Every time there is overtime, I haven't been late, haven't missed a day, and I've been working for you guys for like 2 months now. Never missed a day, never been late, and if you're trying to keep me as a finisher for good, there's no room for advancement, and you don't let me try to be a TIG welder, I'm probably gonna find another job and look for another welding job. So, it'd be like you're gonna miss out on a good worker who shows up every day, works overtime, and is never late, never misses a day. So, you want to give me that opportunity to become a TIG welder, or you're gonna lose me forever.
Yeah, that sounds like my my internship that I had. Because all they let me do was inventory, and they didn't actually train me to do any, or they didn't even let me do any maintenance work. They didn't show me anything for maintenance. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is some BS. I jumped them on it like multiple times, and I was like, this isn't right. I'm like, I came here to be a maintenance intern, not an inventory person. I'm like, if you wanted me to do data entry, I could have went and did data entry for $14 an hour. I'm like, that's a decent job doing data entry for $14 an hour. I can eventually get a job for data entry making $20 an hour without having to go to college for it.
Yeah.
And the boss the manager had nothing to say to that, and I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. You got nothing to say. Like, you're a horrible person for not saying anything.
Right.
You just want me to do your inventory so that way your other maintenance people don't ever have to learn how to do it.
Well, just because you're an intern, can make you do anything.
Yeah, and that's just being a warm body. That's not what interns are for. You're there to train you're there to train interns to be future maintenance people.
Yeah, but they can do whatever they want, though.
Yeah, that's exactly what they. Once you have an intern, that's their employee.
Yeah.
Which is, it's sad, but it's true.
Yeah, my work's about like 25 to 30 minutes away, so waking up at 4 in the morning, or like 4:15ish, take a shower, and then leave my house around like 5:10. And I'm at work. I hate waking up at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, just my wife and I are trying to find, or I'm trying to find a nice rental spot that's semi-close to where I would have to work, where I'm going to work, and it's turning into a struggle, because, like,
Yeah.
I'm wanting to find a place that would be able to buy a house.
Rent to buy or?
Just buy. Because, like,
Yeah.
downright buying a house is so much cheaper than all that. And it's just like, this is such BS on renting and everything, because renting is so much more expensive than buying.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, well, the rent on this house, this one house that we saw, was like $1,000, and I did like a mortgage calculator with zero down and everything, and I was like, it was like $1,000 for that rent, and I was like, with the mortgage calculator on this one house was like $300. I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, $1,000 just rent is a little ridiculous, in my opinion.
And I'm like, and with that, you got to deal with the landlord and everything. When you buy a house, you don't have to deal with the landlord.
Yeah, you just do everything yourself.
Right. And when we have a decent landlord, and normally, you know, I do everything work-wise on this house anyway, because I don't like strangers coming into my house to work on stuff. I really don't. Especially when I know that I'm going to do it right anyway, and if they screw it up, they're going to have to come back in anyway and fix it, and then that bothers me even more. I'm like,
Yep.
It's like, you screwed it up the first time, now I got to deal with you coming back in, possibly screwing it up again? That makes me feel even more comfortable. Yes, that's exactly what I want. Someone come in the house, screw it up again. When I could have did it right the first time. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, why would I want to deal with that? Where
I wouldn't.
So, and then the other thing is like, I had a landlord, our previous landlord, really screwed us out of our last deposit, because, like, you know, when you pay a deposit, you can use that towards the next month's rent.
Yeah.
He's like, no, I'm not going to do that. I've never heard of that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Everybody I've talked to, they've heard of that. He's like, nope, you have to pay me next month's rent. Really? Alright, so I paid him next month's rent, wasn't going to get into it with him. And he's like, I'll, you know, go through that apartment and everything, and then whatever I don't find satisfactory, I'll deduct from the deposit, da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, really? I'm like, I have pictures.
That's how deposit usually work.
Right. I'm like, really? This apartment, I told you, has mold in it. It was like a fourplex, and the apartment was in like the basement part. And I'm like, I told you previously that there was mold in here. I could not go in the basement anymore because it was causing health condition issues. So I couldn't clean it anymore. And you're going to charge me for it.
Wow.
And I'm like, you're going to go that far? Right there could have caused a lawsuit. I'm like, it was causing health. I'm like, it was causing health issues for my wife, and she was pregnant at the time. And I'm like, alright, we'll see how this goes. And he took out like $300 out of the deposit.
Wow.
Yeah, it was awesome.
mean, I'm pretty sure you reported the mold like a few months before
Yeah.
that even happened, though, right?
Yeah, I told him, and
Yeah,
he busted a window in the bedroom, and I reported that to him, and I reported that to him, and it was the landlord that busted the window when he was mowing the lawn. I'm like,
wow.
I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I know you knew about the mold in the window seals because another tenant told you about it. I'm like,
I got the idea of Snoopy.
yeah, he does.
A little bit.
I'm like, there's no way you don't know about this. So I really chewed him out. I was furious.
Oh, fuck, I can't stop yawning.
And he waited to the very last minute that he could to hold on to the check. Like, I'm talking like, they had like 30 days to hold on to it. I got the check on the 29th day.
Oh, wow.
That was bad.
Sounds like a douchebag.
Oh, he was bad. And then, like, he charged me for late fees on holidays. Like, he got the check, like, the day after the 4th of July. So, like, on the 5th of July.
Yeah.
I'm like, are you kidding me, man?
Yeah, sounds like a real douchebag.
It was bad, yeah. I'm like, there's no reason why you should be... And then, like, some of the days, like, the payment was supposed to be on the 1st. And he got the payment, like, the 1st was on a Sunday. You can't take the check to the bank on a Sunday. He charged me for a late fee on that.
Wow.
I'm like, you can't do that, man. So, like, every day like that, he charged me for late fees. I was like, seriously?
Yeah, that's kind of retarded.
Yeah. So, like, when you buy a house, you don't have to deal with shit like that. I'm like, no, there's no way.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, when you buy a house, you don't have to deal with that stuff. You just have to make your payment, and it's done. And it's just one thing that just makes me so much happier when that's said and over with. It's just not worth it.
Yeah. No, not at all. That's what I don't get about these people living in apartments for like 20, 30 years. Like, really? He probably could have bought a house, you know.
You could have bought a house and been done with it. Like, I looked at it. I looked at a house, and these houses are like cheap. Like, I say cheap, and it's like you think of the number, and it's astronomical. Like, this one was $59,000. I throw that number out, and it's like, oh my god, $59,000 is a lot. But the payment for a 30-year loan is like $400. But then you change it to like a 15-year loan.
Okay.
And it only goes up to $100.
What should we do?
And if you think of
$59,000 for a house is really fucking cheap here in Oregon. I don't think houses sell for under $100,000 here in Oregon.
right, and that was a nice house. Like, it looked gorgeous on the inside. Granted, it wasn't a brand new house, but it was still a nice house. And I'm like, I could live in that for 15 years, have a house paid off, and by God,
flip it.
right, and in that 15 years, do some remodeling in it. And guess what? Not have a $500 house payment anymore. And guess what?
That's really cheap for a house, actually. $59,000.
Yeah. And some of them were, like, this one I saw was like, the basement wasn't finished. and the payment would have been like $500 a month, you could finish, like with that extra $200 like I would be paying in rent right now, you could finish that payment every month, or like finish the basement.
Yeah.
It's like, think about it, $200 in supplies to finish a basement a month? Whew, you could do a lot.
Oh yeah.
Some drywall, some paint.
Yeah, that'd be easy.
That'd be easy. Make yourself a super nice basement. Finished basement.
Right.
There'd be no problem there. That's what I'm saying, man. This is buy a little cheaper, put some little work into it, get some TLC done.
Live there for 15, 20 years, and then you could sell it if you want. Make a
Right.
lot of money after you remodel it to make it
Right.
worth more.
Granted, not all the houses I looked at were gems.
Yeah.
I did see one that was $1,300 or $13,000. My bad. Now,
13,000 for a house?
well, yeah, but granted, I didn't get to see the inside. I just saw the picture of the outside.
13,000 though? Oh, jeez, that's cheap.
It's a car, and you could only imagine what the inside looked like from that price tag.
But still, that's cheap.
Oh yeah, that's super cheap.
15,000, that's nuts.
That's super crazy cheap. That's like not even.
Yeah.
That's a car payment.
I didn't know people sold the houses for that cheap.
There's probably something seriously wrong with that. Water damage, electrical damage, fire damage. You name it, type of damage. Cat urine,
Yeah.
dog urine.
Probably end up costing you 20,000 to fix it up.
Still, you think about 20,000 to fix up a house, that costs you only 13,000 in one.
So 33,000, yeah. That'd definitely be worth it.
Oh yeah. One of those things, man. That changed your life.
Mhm.
Payments would be low. Imagine the stuff you'd be able to do.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. I told my wife, if we bought our house that we're living in right now, instead of renting it, our payments would be cut in half.
Yeah.
Literally, like, it would not be no joke. Just because there's nothing there. The value of this house is not $100,000 house. It's a nice house, but it's definitely not $100,000 house.
Mhm.
Because of the area it's in.
Yeah.
Oh, I never caught what type of weld. You do TIG, but what else do? You just do TIG and wire?
Hardwired. Yeah. I know a little bit of TIG, enough to pass our weld test. And yeah, hardwired and yeah, hardwired.
You do TIG.
I don't know how to do stick.
Stick is easy.
I was told.
Stick is the easiest.
I don't know, hardwired kind of easy. If you just know how to set your machine, which it's not really that hard to set your machine.
Same concept. You just gotta know how to You just got to get your stick in there. You got to know which stick to use, though, too.
Yeah, I don't know. Just watching people stick weld, I'm like, that looks kind of confusing. Like, it doesn't look too hard to learn.
Oh, Ronan.
I don't know what could be hard about stick welding.
I don't know. It just seems really weird.
I haven't done stick welding in a while. Like, I did in high school, and then I did in college, and then I haven't done it since. Well, that's got screwed up. But, no, I don't think stick's that bad. I think the worst is
I
TIG.
wouldn't mind learning. Yeah, TIG welding, if you don't know what you're doing, it can be a pain in the butt.
I definitely think TIG is the most interesting out of them.
Yeah.
I think TIG is... I would like to know how to do aluminum and stainless with wire, though.
Not hard at all. There's a lot of newer machines now with aluminum. Like my last job when I was welding at Oregon Iron Works, we were making aluminum boats for the Navy SEALs. So most of the machines nowadays, the better companies buy a pulse machine. So it like pulses a bead. So like as you're holding down the trigger and you move your gun, it's making the beads for you as you move it. But aluminum's not that hard to learn. Aluminum's actually kind of easy.
Yeah, but where I'm going to school, they're like, well, once you learn one, you kind of learn them all, and it's not really true.
Yeah, at the weld shop, my very first weld job when I was started out as a grinder and became a welder there, they did aluminum, stainless, mild steel. They did it all. So I pretty much learned how to do all of them at that shop.
Yeah, I don't...
Touching my boobies.
I really wish that we... Because you know what I went to school. I went to school for maintenance, and as in the maintenance field, it's beneficial to learn on all different materials versus
Oh yeah.
mild steel.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't benefit learning on mild steel when you have all these different types of steels.
Yeah.
Because what's the point on learning on mild steel when mild steel is the easiest to weld on?
Yeah. The thing about stainless steel, if you're running hardwired, you have to set your machine up right, because if you weld it too hot, it's technically not stainless steel anymore if you weld it too hot. If you don't get the color in the stainless steel, then it's not stainless steel. It turns, once you get it so hot, it turns into a different material. So, like, you have to have the color in your weld. You know what I mean, right?
Right.
Have you seen a weld, like, stainless steel weld and see like a rainbow on it?
Right.
You have to have, like, those colors, and it's still considered stainless steel. So, knowing how to set up your machine and the thickness of the material and knowing all that stuff, it does help, because you do want the color in there. But once you start welding and like you just keep repeating the steps and like know the thickness, you know how to set your machine eventually. It gets easy.
Yeah, it's definitely a process. You have to do it more. Like that, like I said, it's one of those things where you have to keep doing it, and it's not one of those things, oh, you did it once, you're done, you know?
Yeah, it's repetition. That's all it is.
Well, I think.
Maybe I'll play some Call of Duty now.
Well, I think I'm gonna stop broadcasting now.